Hey, welcome to this quick install video. Today we are installing the C3 Rad Hoses and Thermostat. Let's check it out. Okay, so the first thing I'm doing is just draining the coolant out of the bike. I'm holding on to my coolant. It is Evans waterless coolant. So this is what it looks like when it gets a little warm. I'm doing some pretty hard stuff in the summertime. Anyhow, and then we're going to be removing our hoses. These are the stock factory hoses off this KTM. And the reason why we're taking them off is primarily because the thermostat doesn't have a high enough temperature rating. And also, there's just a lot of it that's not necessary, especially when we're going to do some other C3 upgrades like heated bars and whatnot in the future. So here's the new C3 thermostat, lower rad hose and the upper rad hose for the thermostat. Now, the hoses were a little too long at the beginning, I found, and it added some really weird crimping, as you can see, and I didn't think the flow would be good. So what I wound up doing was removing. So the bottom hose got off about almost 1.25 inches, and then the top hose got about 1/4 inch removed. And then I'm just talking about the flow here. That connection's for the heated bars. So we'll talk about that in the next video. There's my thermostat that goes into it. Sorry, the temperature gauge for the thermostat. And then, yeah, make sure your rad hoses are already on and loose before you stick them up into place, or you're going to be pulling all off again. Common mistake that happens. I do it all the time. So just putting on that hose. So now it's coming out of the engine straight up into the radiators. And then just tightening them up. The hoses don't need to be too tight, guys. They're not holding down the world, especially if you're using Evans waterless coolant. It doesn't build up pressure like normal coolant does, so you don't have to have them just ripping tight. Just nice and snug. And now I'm doing the bottom hose, and this is also the hose that's used for sending the coolant through the bars as well. So the one from the thermostat's a send, and that one is a return. Just doing up the rad hoses clamps. Everything looks good in place. And just putting in the standard hose on the other side. This hose really isn't much different than the factory one, except for it's made out of a better material and it is colored. So it looks really great on the bike. And that's pretty much it. Next video, we're going to install the heated bars, run the lines for the coolant for the heated bars, and then we're going to do some intake stuff. So stay tuned. We'll see you next time.